If you're checking in through for the Frontier opening bell this Thursday, the 15th of April, the markets, as where we get started as always, quite a couple of green shoots across the board on Wednesday, which was our midweek. MTN Nigeria had a single day biggest turnover value on the Nigerian exchange on Wednesday, 5.5 billion naira. Of course, the trading in the banking and financial services, including bellwether industrial manufacturers such as Nigerian breweries, also were top of the turnover table for the day, and some of the gains as well. But of course, the market finished nicely, 0.27%. The BRVM in Cote d'Ivoire was better by 0.58%. The Ghana market was also finished roughly around the flattish line. Zimbabwe was about also flattish around 0.01%. The Nairobi market was up very strongly. The Osha index roughly 2%, 131.35. The Egyptian stock exchange, the EGX30 is what we track on a daily basis, 0.43%. The GSE fell back 0.18%. The rand was up on the dollar, 0.36%, as the dollar pulled back slightly. The CFA franc in West Africa also made some gains on the USD 584.78. Those were backward-looking data for Wednesday. But let's get on to see today's some of the headlines that we're pursuing today. Quite a whole lot of grounds to cover as oil companies says they want fines waived for them for overdue product they expected to deliver to Kenya Pipeline Company. In the meantime, the Kenya's electricity pricing agency, the EPRA, says it's retaining the maximum pump prices for fuel, gasoline, diesel, kerosene from May the 15th, which is today, until the 14th of June. Ethiopia, however, says it's earned roughly $2 billion, $1.87 billion, a very big chunk of money on the table from coffee exports for the past 10 months. Says it exported 354,000 tons of coffee bean out of the country to Saudi Arabia, United States, and elsewhere. And Tanzania's central bank has raised the non-competitive threshold bid to 500 million Tanzanian shillings from 50 million local shillings previously. In Airtel Africa, NWPP's Can Group's Ogilvy Africa have wrapped up their 15-year partnership. That's in corporate news. Finally, China is pledging $1.8 billion investments into Ethiopia's energy and mining sectors. Those pledges came through at the Ethiopia Investment Forum, which was held 2 days ago. So let's see what's up in Western Africa. Of course, we've got quite a lot also on the table with OPEC. Keeping 2025 global oil demand forecast at 1.3 million barrels per day. So more supplies is expected to come into the market this month and next, as well as into July. And according to OPEC, easing trade tensions between China and the United States and a few other countries, including the UK, may reduce economic uncertainty. That's good news. Oil prices are holding it steady around the top end of the $60 per barrel. And Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Tuga says Brazil's Petrobras, the oil giant, is keen on returning to Nigeria after he sold off his stake in Nigeria's energy business, oil and gas business, some years ago. Now, Nigerians in diaspora can have a local bank account and they can do transactions while still abroad as freely as any other Nigerian can do at home, according to a new BVN program, digital BVN program that's just been unveiled by the financial regulator, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Interbank Settlement System, the NIBS. The Invest in Africa Energy Forum in Paris came to a close yesterday. Mauritania in Western Africa is weaving greater Choshu Amihim project into the country's industrial strategy. And the idea is to get the energy, oil and gas, hydrocarbon into the country's industrial energy and use that energy to power its industrial strategy. That's good news. Anyway, the USA oil firm Valco Energy says targeting growth in Cote d'Ivoire as well as in Gabon. I'm taking that up to to Southern Africa, and some news coming through that President Ramaphosa of South Africa is heading to Washington, D.C. from May the 19th, that's next week, for 3 days, 19 to 21, to meet with top government officials, including President Trump at the White House. The idea is to restore relations between Africa's most advanced economy with the United States. Remember, President Trump had coming down hard on Pretoria, and Ramaphosa's administration allegations that South Africa is discriminating against some African farmers, and they're relocating to the United States. Trade sanctions as well as aid and other supports being cancelled to South Africa under President Trump's administration since he came into office back in January. Now, Ramaphosa wants to put boots on the ground and meet face-to-face with President Trump next week. And Mozambique says it's removing VAT, that's value-added tax on sugar, edible oils, and soap. And those VAT removals will stay in place until December. And Lusaka West Fuel Depot will be ready for commissioning in Zambia. That's according to the government out of Lusaka. And Namibia wants to add 93 megawatts of electricity or renewable energy into the grid by the end of 2025-2026 financial year. In Zimbabwe, the country is looking to get the first dollar-listed real estate investment trust. That's on the Victoria Falls Exchange, not on the Harare-based Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, because the property market is heating up strongly because of the rally that we saw in gold prices. And Zimbabwe is raising the fuel strategic reserve levy by 28.34% on petrol. The idea was to shield Zimbabweans from the volatility in oil prices. So the government wants to cushion the strategic reserve by raising the levy on fuel by 28.3%. Those are the headlines in Southern Africa. Let's just go up to the Northern Corridor, looking at Egypt launching a specialized tax unit to boost business confidence, while the Harbour Energy in the countries want to expand cooperation to boost gas exploration at a Diswek oil field. Food exports last year in North Africa's biggest economy surged 21%. And that's according to the latest data, while Chariot Energy says it has regained Moroccan offshore gas licenses after Energean exits those operations, and now Chariot has reclaimed those exploration licenses. And finally, Uber is driving back to Morocco via Marrakesh after a rocky exit by the hill-riding app organization back in 2018. Whatever you're driving, business, investment, markets, finance across Africa, make sure you have another profitable Thursday. And that's your Frontier Opening Bell.